The success of China's economic reforms of the past 3 decades is undeniable, but fears are rising in the capital that discontent over the wealth gap across vast swaths of society may lead to instability in the coming years. On the Gini coefficient, the most widely used measure of income inequality, no developed country has reported a greater disparity than China, and the Asian Development Bank predicts that the gap will only continue to grow. And while Chinese living in the country's most remote areas report the lowest incomes, often less than 2,000 yuan a year or $300, perhaps nowhere is this gap better illustrated than in the country's booming capital.
While China's wealthiest citizens party it up in swanky clubs and restaurants, hundreds of millions more are putting in grueling hours just to keep food on the table. The migrant workers who continually flood into China's urban centers frequently complain of getting paid late or not at all. And the uncertainty of their residency status here means they can be packed off back to the countryside with the snap of a finger.
The average laborer at this construction site makes 1,500 yuan, or $220 a month, a number that may sound like riches to the workers trucked in from Hubei province, but is a far cry from the more than 34,000 yuan, or nearly $5,100 per square yard these apartments will eventually fetch on the market. The workers are aware of the imbalance, but most are just thankful for the opportunity to better their own lives.
We all come from the countryside, but we help build the big cities. I'm satisfied with what I earn, and I don't care how much other people make.
Victor Huilamo manages events for the ultra-luxurious Lan Club, where he says the average wealthy Chinese client spends a minimum of 3,000 yuan a night, more than double the monthly income of the people living in shacks in Beijing's glittering central business district.
As average Chinese people, if they come here, they will be really shocked, and I think they have heard about the Lan Club, but never come here because they think that it's really expensive.
And while the country's poorest residents have a decent understanding of the vast differences between their lifestyles and those of the people they serve, those living the high life are often oblivious to the hardships of their neighbors.
Live your life that you enjoy. That's the question, the point, I think. If you have too much money, you can enjoy the high quality life. But if you don't have, just enjoy the basic life. That's okay.
The migrant workers may be content to let these disparities slide, but the internet community is getting more vocal in speaking out for the common man. When a wealthy teenager killed a poor student in a hit-and-run in downtown Hangzhou earlier this year, netizens erupted in outrage over his lenient punishment. Conspicuous consumption is a favorite topic among netizens, as with the case of a young woman who sent a fleet of luxury cars to pick up her 2 dogs at the airport. And the publicity is having an effect.
With
the help of new media, especially the internet, these types of consumption habits are being restrained to some extent. However, the function of the internet in such cases is just to expose, not to punish.
While there is little evidence now to suggest the concern at the bottom of the economic ladder might erupt in a direct threat to the Chinese leadership, the rise of the human flesh surge shows that all is not as harmonious as officials desire. As access to technology spreads, Chinese officials will be faced with some tough decisions. And the real question at stake is whether they will rise from their leather chairs to meet the challenge. Ashley Eldridge, BON.